Welcome back, everyone. So we're gonna do a speed run today, and I just changed the overlay. Maybe my face looks a little bit weird, but I think it's fine, just because I removed the background, and so we're putting it to the test today, see if everything works okay. And yeah, I think it's all good. So I'm gonna do a slow run, explain all my moves. Here I skip a few moves, but we're just taking over the center with c4 and d4. Okay, here we can also take the option, we can go for the option of taking this pawn. I'm gonna go there and then develop my knight after the queen takes my pawn. So everything is good here, although that actually blunders this pawn. So instead, I'm gonna defend with the other knight. I'm gonna defend here. Now he can no longer take this pawn. That will simplify things for him, so we don't wanna do that. Perfect, so he's playing e5. Now we can always take the pawn. That would mean he was gonna take our queen. That is playable and everything will be fine. But I think we can also go for a more slow approach. For example, we can develop the knight, hitting the queen. I can develop this pawn, protecting this pawn. So I'm gonna play knight c3, hitting the queen. And now the queen has to move somewhere. Okay, now he has moved the queen. And I have chances of pushing this pawn. I can also develop my bishop and play bishop d2. So these are my two candidate moves. The other option is maybe I can even take this pawn with the knight. After he takes, I can take back, but the queen will take my pawn. So that trade wouldn't really benefit. Let's go for something slightly aggressive, which is I'm gonna play d5. d5, I'm putting pressure on the knight. Next, what I have in mind is developing the bishop, maybe even winning this pawn. This is what happens when you get your queen out too early. And he's making a good move. He's disregarding this because now he can take the knight and give a check, right? So I will have to defend. And if I move, for example, if I defend with the bishop, then he will be able to take the pawn. So instead, I can just develop. Let's say you don't see this calculation and you don't want to calculate because once we take here, he's going to take with check. And let's just develop the bishop and protect the knight. So everything is fine in this position. Okay, now he's moving the knight. That's also a good move. For example, I can take here, but the pawn will take back. And now where do you put your my knight? I think I can even take this pawn. We have to be aware of the threats, right? What are the threats here? He wants to take, but my knight is protected. So everything is fine. Now, I can also take the pawn. I'm calculating here for a second. Yeah, I think this will be completely fine. So I'm gonna take the pawn. And what is next is a bit scary, but I think we can manage. So I think the best move in the position for black is to develop the bishop. So we are behind development here. We shouldn't be taking these pawns, but I'm getting a bit greedy to show that this is still possible to do. Because in all the games I have played in this series have been about being solid, hyper solid, which usually works, but sometimes you can also get a bit greedy. So I'm expecting him to play this, threatening to play knight c2 later. So I will have to make a forcing move, which is e4, right? Yeah, I actually expect him. I wish he could play bishop f4, f5, sorry, so the continuation would be interesting to play. Now he's probably thinking about it because, okay, now we have interesting choices. So one candidate move, you always come up with these ideas, right? First we come up with, let's say we look for checks, captures, threats. I can give a check here with the queen and force the threat of queens, right? Now, a second idea is threatening to capture the bishop. Sorry, threatening, going here, going to knight c4, threatening to capture the bishop. However, in terms of priority, you always want to develop your pieces first. So my bishop is underdeveloped, and that is what I want to do. I'm gonna develop my bishop here. So this is ready, and now the knight has to move. Yeah, you don't want to move your piece too many times. In this case, I could have moved the knight here to c4, which is fine. I'm attacking the queen, but what is my continuation after that, right? And I moved the knight for a purpose, right? Like every move has to have a purpose and intention, which was taking the pawn. But now I don't have to move the knight unless the position requires me to. And now he's going to go for forcing moves. He's capturing my piece, so I have to capture back, which is completely fine. And his knight is still hanging, and his queen is still hanging. So in this game, I think he rushed the attack a little bit. Okay, and now I cannot really take with the bishop because, oh no, it's actually fine. I can take with the bishop, but even more forcing will be to take back with the queen. So I'm gonna take back with the queen, and my knight is protected. So in this case, he rushed the attack without prioritizing development. So he takes my queen. I can take back with the bishop, and we have 5 pieces versus 4. So we should be winning in this game. And what you want to do is trade pieces, right? Trade the rest of the pieces. For example, I can give a check here. We should expect this move, c6. So at least if you cannot think 2 or 3 moves ahead, at least think, sorry, 20 moves ahead, you can think 2 or 3 moves ahead, right? So once we give a check with the bishop, it's gonna develop the pawn, but my knight is protecting this pawn as well. So let's do that. First, we look for checks, right? So I'm giving a check. He's taking his sweet time to ponder his move. All right, he moves the king out. I think this is a good move. Now, every time you make a move, let's go back, you have to think about the job your piece is doing. So the job that my piece was doing is protecting this pawn. Now, for example, I can castle. I am protecting my pawn, and I'm also developing my rook, right? Now my rook is easier to get into the game. So, okay, this one is simple. They're attacking my knight. I can give a check here, for example. I don't see the continuation to this, but at least my knight is being protected, right? Let me think about it for a second, because he can also push a6 later on, not right now. So instead, I'm gonna do something more solid. In case of doubt, you want to play solid. And I have a lot of squares, a lot of retreating squares. I'm winning. I don't need to win right away. So I'm going to go back. And if he takes here, I'm happy because I have more material. See, yeah, this is what I was calculating, a6. So, okay, I'm gonna go back, put my bishop this diagonal. Okay, he develops the knight. Now, I have 2-3 good pieces, but my rooks are not in the game. So first I want to activate my rooks, put it on the semi-open files. Also, you want to fight for the center at all times. So I'm going to put one rook here on the semi-open file. Semi-open, still have a pawn. And then the next plan in my, maybe the rook on d1. Still have to respond to the threats. So I'm just gonna move my bishop back and everything is fine. Here also, every move he's making with the pawns, he's on protecting the king side. The same thing he's doing on this side of the board. which is very aggressive, but later on we might be able to exploit this weakness. He's creating weaknesses by moving the pawns. There is no safety to the king. So here you don't want to rush it. I don't really have to respond to these pawn moves. What I want to do is bring my other rook into the game. And I'm gonna rush it a little bit because I'm running low on time, as you can see, but it's still winning. It's still... I'm completely... Okay. If he offers me a trade of rooks when I am up on material, I'm just gonna trade rooks. I'm happy to do it. And I cannot trade the other rook right away. So instead, I'm gonna bring my king into the game. Maybe king e2 later, so I can trade my rook. Now, probably he has an idea here. He might be able to take this knight, takes, and attack this pawn. So I'm gonna move my pawn right away before he has any other ideas. It's taking his time to move. Now we continue with our plan. Remember, so king e2. I'm gonna bring my rook into the game. Keep it simple. Keep it simple means to trade material. Now he has mathematically less chances to win, correct? Now with this push pawn, I have the chance to take this pawn, but every move is on protecting something, right? So we still have to be aware of this, although in this specific example, I don't see a problem because now he's trapping his bishop. Yeah, his bishop is nowhere to go. And now where do you put this bishop? With black. Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, he's trapping his bishop. Just as I predicted. That was funny. Okay, attacking my bishop. I can just move back. Yeah. Okay, he's putting pressure. Fortunately, still have a space. I can go for something like this, but instead I'm gonna play more active and put my bishop on this square. Maybe even go back here to f4, defending my knight. Okay, and now I'm gonna go after the bishop. Probably there is something better in the position, but here I don't even have to rush anything. There might be tactics. It feels like there is tactics because I have the bishop pair, huge advantage. I have more pieces. This knight is not in the game. The bishop now is gone. This is completely losing for black. Okay, so I'm just gonna move my bishop here. This is a no-brainer. I don't have to do anything fancy in this position. I'm also attacking the knight. And I can even force the trade of knights here. Always go for forcing moves. So I'm attacking the king and the knight. I'm gonna take the knight. And I have the bishop pair and a rook versus the rook. Oh, and I missed it. I actually missed this tactic. I have it available now. So we always look for the alignment of the pieces. I'm gonna take the rook and remove this. Okay. Now I'm gonna take this pawn. And he doesn't have much counterplay. I will rush a little bit the moves. As you can see, I have 1 minute on the clock, but that's actually no problem. So here you always want to play the safest moves possible, as I don't really have to do anything. I can wait and he's gonna have to make moves that are not beneficial. So I'm gonna win the pawn. You always want to be careful with stalemate, and I think I have the marionette here. Checkmate. So for example, let me go back a little bit. If I had taken this pawn, now black doesn't have any moves. So you always want to avoid the stalemate, right? The bishop is covering this diagonal. I'm covering this square. So the king wouldn't have any moves to make. That would have been a stalemate. But I spotted the checkmate pattern. He's on a marionette. Again, with my bishop and my rook. So I only have to complete the checkmate, right? It was mating one. So a quick game review. The first thing, okay, once I develop my knight here, the first thing you want to do is fight for the center, right? I'm fighting for the center with these 2 pawns. Now what I want to do is develop pieces, don't push more pawns. Once we take here, I'm developing, I'm protecting my knight, I'm protecting the pawn, sorry, and then developing the other knight. This was an advanced move, which I guess a lot of people at this level wouldn't see. Bishop e4. In this case, I cannot move the knight without losing my king. So then moving the queen here, 1 second, here, moving the queen here was a mistake. That was a mistake because now the queen is in a weird square. There is no way he can punish this. He can attack, sorry, he can attack my position. Now I can punish this by playing d5, and now he has to find a square for the knight. That is just hanging the pawn in this example. So, okay, and this move was a mistake as well, b6. What is the purpose? What is the intention of this? There is no forcing moves. So maybe he wants to develop the bishop, but now I can just kick out the knight, right? And now I'm winning after these trades. It was just a matter of technique, but this is completely winning for white, and there was actually no problem for us. Okay, so I have a rating of 660 now, guys. Let's go for another 10 points or 8 points, I don't know. So he's playing d4. I'm gonna play the best move in the position, which is d5. Just have some geometry here. I'm fighting for these 2 squares, he's fighting for these 2. And he's going for some weird system, not weird system, it's the Collie system, if I am not mistaken, by playing e3. So this bishop is gonna be bad, but it's still not that clear how to punish it. Now, I can do the same thing, playing e6, but I will develop my bishop instead. I will develop my bishop and try to counter his bad bishop. What we want to do is play against this bad piece. He's thinking about it. He's taking his sweet time. That's a bit strange. Probably he's another streamer, right? He's a streamer who is making a video. So I'm gonna beat you, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I don't know what is happening, but he's 631, okay. Probably he's shocked, like, wait, what am I supposed to do? I think what he's supposed to do is develop the bishop here to d3, and now we can trade bishops. Is he resigning, or probably he didn't want to play? Oh, okay. Now he's developing the knight. Knight f3. Perfect, we're gonna do something similar. He also wants to occupy, so we want to understand this move. He probably wants to occupy e5. Actually, I was gonna play this, but maybe even slightly better is gonna be knight e7. And you might ask, why not develop knight c6? In many openings, what you want to do is develop the pawn first and then the knight, because the knight is gonna be weird here. Okay, he's moving fast now. My pawn is hanging, so I'm just gonna protect the pawn, and everything is good in this position. My bishop is out. I want to develop the bishop. I think I can even play c5. c5 contesting this pawn directly, so I'm gonna go for it. Now, this moves comes with tempo, as I can develop my bishop immediately. And he still has the bad bishop, right? So now I allow him to do this, but I don't see any problems. His next move, we want to identify his next move, right? It's gonna be knight to a5, putting pressure on the knight. So we have to react to this, do something about it. Let me think here for a second. For example, I can play a6. a6 looks like a good move. It's putting pressure on the bishop. I want to develop my knight, but not before kicking out his bishop, preventing this idea of him playing knight e5. Probably still fine. We can analyze this later. And this is a bit shocking. I didn't expect him to sacrifice the knight. So I think it will be rude not to take. This is very interesting. I think I can even give a check here and then take his bishop. Because what I don't want to happen, let me calculate for a second here. So if I take, it's gonna take the bishop, back with the bishop, and then play this. There is no, I don't think there is a problem. So we have two options here. I can take back. Every time they make a sacrifice, take your time to calculate. So I can take back. He's gonna take back with the bishop. And what worries me is the attack on this diagonal. But after I develop my knight, then he's gonna put his knight here on this square. Yeah, my knight is being protected by my queen and by my other knight. So I think I should be completely fine. And there is also another tactic which I don't see until I mention it. I am seeing this move, queen a5. This gives a check to the queen and the bishop. Yeah, I think that was just a blunder. So I was miscalculating. I'm sorry about that. That sometimes happens, but we are still winning, okay? So we're giving a check here to the king. I'm giving a check to the bishop. I'm completely winning, and this is also kind of, I didn't see that. Okay, it's all good. Now I can take the bishop. Here we have to evaluate. If I take the bishop, he's gonna take my bishop, right? And I can recover after that. But instead, I can also give a check, and if he takes back, okay, I'm gonna give a check. He's gonna take back. I'm gonna give a check again with the queen, and he has to develop the bishop. That's the only defensive move. And now I can take his rook. He's gonna take back with the queen. And my back rank, I'm worried about my back rank. Oh man, give me another second to calculate. Takes, bishop goes there, queen takes. Okay, I think the result of these trades will benefit me. So I'm gonna show you the line. I hope he plays this line. I'm gonna take here. He's gonna take back. And this bishop is still hanging. Oh my god, wait, I think he has this. No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay. Now I can just trade. I can just trade. No, he didn't play the line I was hoping for. I can trade, forcing move, checks. Now this bishop is hanging. Okay. And now we are winning a full piece. He has 4 versus 5. I was calculating a different line. I will show you later my calculation. But yeah, we are completely winning in this position. My calculation was he probably would have taken here the queen, and he had this back rank mate. But let's see later. Now, let's just develop pieces, right? Let's finish the development. The next priority is castling, so I'm gonna castle. And now I can even put my bishop on this diagonal. I'm attacking the knight, attacking the rook. And I think he's getting nervous as he's just losing, completely lost. Okay. This is funny. We can even be a bit flashy in this position. I think I can even sacrifice the queen. Then I will take his rook and his other rook as well. So we don't have to do that, right? We don't really have to. The simplest move is gonna be just taking. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play the solid move. I don't want you to be flashy or anything, because actually 2 rooks versus a queen, it should be winning, right? It should be winning, but there is no need. There is no need to do that, to be flashy. Now I can just take this pawn, and my queen is protecting the rook. So now the knight is hanging. I think he forgot about the knight. And now, yeah, he's just very desperate. This is not, there's no counterplay here. what is the purpose of this move. He's just giving the pawn. And now I can play this, for example. And everything is hanging, right? The rook is hanging. Oh, sorry, here. Rook is hanging. Rook is hanging. So I'm gonna take this rook just because he comes with tempo. Oh, sorry, it's a checkmate. I actually missed that it was a checkmate. Yeah, because I'm also discovering this check, right? Discovering this check, and I didn't even calculate that this was a checkmate. So let's do the game review. Okay, I would like to show you that crucial moment where I was calculating. This was a brilliant move, right? It looks like I am sacrificing my bishop, but if he takes, I can just take this rook. But that wasn't even my calculation. I don't know why. I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna give a check here, so he has to develop his bishop, and now I just take his rook. And I was thinking, oh, if he takes his back with the queen, I'm just gonna take this bishop that is hanging, and the computer shows this is a slight advantage, right? The problem is this. He has a check available, and now he can also move the knight, hitting these two pieces. But my calculation was wrong. He had, and I kind of mentioned that in the video, he had this move where if I take here, develops the bishop, and I take the rook, he has the forcing move here. So I have to waste a tempo to take back, and now my queen is hanging, and my rook is hanging, and it's completely lost for me. So he didn't go for that line, fortunately. But yeah, b4 and bishop takes on b4 is completely winning, as now I am up a piece. I'm completely up a piece and a full pawn. So here we go for this trade and we're winning. So what happened? What was the biggest mistake for him before that? This knight sacrifice. He went for this knight sacrifice. Knight takes on b5. It just doesn't work. It's too much. It's too much. First, I have a check here, and I can win the bishop. Sorry, but this move is still available. Queen a5, and he doesn't really have a defense. And we saw the continuation. That doesn't really work for white. Oh, I nearly forgot to mention. So there was this moment where I was thinking, we can let this happen. I can take this knight, and if he takes my queen, then I'm taking this piece. So he has to, oh wait, I was thinking in my head he can move the king for some reason. But no, he has to give up the queen. And now check, right? This is a check. And once he moves the king, it's the same result anyway. I'm gonna win this other rook. And yeah, how do you play without pieces? In my head, I thought there was some way he could escape. I didn't consider this pawn. But even if he escapes, and he moves the king here for some reason, now I win this other rook. And again, even with the queen, I have too much material. I have way too much. I could have won this game easily. So I missed this. But yeah, there is no need to do anything flashing when you... also, I was running out of time. So when you're running out of time, just make practical choices. Thanks everyone for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. I have exclusive content for only $1 on strategy, how to improve your pieces, how to improve your position with different sets of different studies. I will see you in the next one, and take care.